Good evening, everyone. My name is Dhawal Parvatikar, and welcome to AI for Finance and FP&A webinar by FP&A Professionals Institute. First of all, thank you for your trust. You've taken out your valuable 60 to 90 minutes to spend time with us here today to learn something new. So thank you for your trust. Pat yourselves on the back for taking action. A statistic, a Harvard study says that less than 3% of the people take active action to develop their careers. And no wonder 3% of the people are leading the world's organizations. So pat yourselves on the back for taking action and make sure that you stay through, to the 60 minutes that we are trying to share some insights here. Okay. A little bit about us before we begin with. My name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I've also completed my one-year general management program from IIM Ahmedabad. Over the last 16 years, I've served as a CFO and a finance leader across India and in the Middle East, across various companies and industries, ranging from oil and gas, advertising, commodity trading, and software services. I'm now the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. Over the last 6 years, I've been an active online instructor and a mentor, and I've trained more than 5,000 professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, data storytelling, AI, CFO career coaching, and much more. I'm frequently seen in events across the Middle East, somewhere as a speaker, as a moderator, as a host. You will always see me in some or the other events in the Middle East. I've also built a vibrant community of more than 200 CFOs across the Middle East. This is my co-founder, Asif. He had some commitment today, so he couldn't be here. Again, as an influencer, a multi best-selling author, 15 plus years in FP&A experience. His last role was as APAC FP&A lead for the edtech giant Coursera. Has worked with multiple brands that you see on the screen. Together, we have built FP&A Professionals Institute, and we are able to train 5,000 students so far on various programs that you see on the screen. It could be financial modeling, FP&A, a flagship program, which is a certified global FP&A professional program, which is a 6-month program. And from the last 1 year or so, we have been focusing specifically on AI for finance and FP&A as well. FP&Ajobs.com is our latest initiative where we are trying to bring FP&A candidates and recruiters on one platform. So do sign up on FP&Ajobs.com whenever you get a chance. Awesome. So what are we going to cover today? Over the next 60 minutes, I request all of you to get rid of all the distractions. Okay. If you can, then switch on your camera. What I've seen is that if you are on your camera, then you are less distracted. If you can, then switch on your cameras as well. We'll try and start with the broader AI vision or the CFO's vision for AI and what is the CFO's expectation with the AI function. And then we understand the different levels of AI depending on the complexity and the maturity. And then we'll dive into some AI for finance use cases. I'll give you a larger overview of some use cases as well, and we'll specifically dive into a couple of FP&A use cases and how we have been able to incorporate AI in our workflow, specifically in FP&A. And of course, in the end, we will take a pause for Q&A sessions as well. Okay, so all in all, it's going to be an exciting 60 minutes. Will it be transformational? I don't know, but will it definitely give you a roadmap of how and what you need to learn in terms of AI? I can guarantee you that. Okay, so stay through till the very end, and welcome everybody once again. Let's get started. So let's start with the CFO's expectation from AI. Like if you speak to any senior professional, right? So you will get multiple responses. Somebody will talk about efficiency, somebody will talk about accuracy, somebody will talk about the speed, right? It's a mixed requirement that the CFOs have about AI, right? So largely, you can sum up them into 4 elements. One is expecting efficiency, right? So automate repetitive tasks, eliminate manual errors, right? Don't try and spend time on the same things or repetitive tasks again and again. So that is what the CFOs are expecting. Insight, many times, real-time actionable insights are expected. Many times it takes a lot of time from closing our month to publishing the insights. By that time, it's already too late to adjust our forecast or take a pricing decision or something like that. So the speed of the insight is something which the CFOs are definitely expecting. Agility, response through dynamic scenario planning, continuous changes, or response to the market or response to the competitors. So agility in our scenario planning, agility in forecast, agility in pricing predictability, all of that is something which is expected by CFOs. And of course, innovation to approach finance processes in a completely new way, in a transformational way. so that it's far more efficient and effective, right? So that's a larger vision or a broad expectation that a CFO would expect from a AI capable finance team. Yeah. Now, what is the opportunity for we as finance professionals, right? So there could be largely three different types of opportunities, which is why we should all focus on learning AI in 2026. One is automate, right? Simple. I've been doing repetitive tasks. I can automate it. The system will itself now do all these repetitive tasks, right? Which will help me focus more on the important tasks. Second is augmenting your thinking, right? Which is this is the most underrated benefit of AI, right? So if when I am analyzing something as an FP&A leader or a CFO, I have limited intelligence and experience. But if I can use AI the right way, it gives me augmented intelligence. It gives me intelligence of collectively, I don't know, 2,000 CFOs, a few thousand FP&A leaders, right? Collectively, many years of experience. So using AI to augment your own intelligence capabilities is the most underrated use case for AI. Yeah. And then transform, right? Completely transform the finance operations, uh, automate it, unlock new business models, capabilities, and efficiencies, right? So that's completely transforming the function. So automate, augment, and transform. These are the three opportunities for us as finance leaders why we should take AI seriously. One thing that happens is, or this is how the new finance or the automated or the AI-driven finance success looks like. Before AI, we used to spend maximum time on data collection, manual processing, report generation, editing the data, validating the data, right? And on the AI front, whenever AI is implemented, we spend more time on analysis. We spend more time on strategic advisory. That's what the difference will be when we use or incorporate AI in our workflow in a strong way. Yeah. Now, what are the different levels of AI, right? So again, from basic automation to autonomous intelligence to agentic AI. So there are different levels of AI, but largely they can be summed up into four levels. Again, there are multiple levels, multiple definitions of this. There's no one concrete um, categorization, but I think this is a good way to sum up the different levels of AI that are available out there, which are again relevant for finance teams. First is robotic process automation, right? Which is basically automating all the rule-based tasks, repetitive tasks, which are very structured. If a task follows step 1, 2, 3, 4, you can automate it with robotic process automation. RPA has been probably there since almost a decade. It is already being used extensively in multiple industries, even before the AI growth story came out. Okay, and recently I was speaking to, not recently, in fact, a couple of years ago, I was speaking to a insurance company CFO, and she told me that 80% of the claims processing that comes to them is now handled by RPA, right? So they have set all the rules. You can now put a claim or an expense claim or like a insurance claim for your medical or for your automobile insurance claim from your mobile phone app, right? And basis the categorization, basis studying the photographs or basis studying a certain report, the claim will be processed by the RPA or the robot itself, right? You don't need manual interventions. Only about 10 to 15% manual intervention is required for some claims where the complexity is higher. So the number of claims assessors has significantly gone down in the insurance industry. So this is one solid use case of robotic process automation. Machine learning. So just give me a moment. Let me just look at the WhatsApp group if somebody is unable to join. WhatsApp group if somebody is unable to join. So the second is machine learning. Machine learning is where the machine can recognize certain patterns basis the past data. So if you have solid quantum of past data, let's say 3 years, 5 years of data, it can reasonably predict your forecast. It can reasonably predict your next outcomes as well. Now, this is typically used in fraud detection, credit scoring, or any pattern identification, right? So that is where most of the ML use cases are now being used. Some companies are using it for revenue forecasting as well. The third level of maturity is generative AI, where you are focusing on creation or you're focusing on generation of a tool, generation of a report, generation of a website, generation of insights, generation of a presentation or anything like that, where by talking in a natural language to the tool, you are able to create a lot of things, right? With this, you can also automate your variance commentaries, You can also look at scenario planning. We look at some examples also today, right? So that is generative AI for you. And most of you already started using generative AI tools. And then finally comes agentic AI. Agentic AI is where we are talking about autonomous decisions, right? For example, there could be AP agent, AP agent, right? So they will receive your invoice. The agent will receive your invoice. It will study it and basis the pattern recognition or basis the rules or basis a certain intelligence, it will classify it, it will post the accounting entry, it will capture the due date, it will get the amount paid to the AP vendor on the due date. So all of that is agentic AI, where we are talking about autonomous agents, autonomous accountant, autonomous sales agent, autonomous FP&A agent, different kind of agents. Now, I have seen many use cases on the sales side of things. So when I attended a conference in Dubai, I saw an autonomous sales agent actually closing a real estate viewing, right? So imagine a real estate agent calling you and then he'll set up a apartment viewing for you, right? So that was all done by a tool where they showed that, okay, the agent called the customer, checked his availability, and then booked a apartment viewing as well, right? So all of that is a classic use case of agentic AI. And then there was a very bold vision that was presented in one of the conferences that I attended. It was called the one person CFO office, right? So you can imagine a real CFO person on top, and then below that CFO, everything is agents. There's an AP agent, AR agent, treasury agent, FP&A agent, consolidation or accounts agent, compliance agent, internal audit agent, whatever agents you can imagine. All of that is system. Again, that was a bold vision. Are we there yet? Probably not. We are far away from that, but we are moving towards it. Agentic AI is catching up very, very fast. And we look at some examples as well. Now, what are some of the AI use cases in the finance function? So from treasury to claims processing to procurement to various functions, there are multiple use cases for AI in finance. Okay. There could probably be hundreds of use cases. Okay. And we won't be able to cover all of them. I'm just giving you some sample examples for each of the functions in the finance and accounting field. It could be dynamic budgeting and planning, automated forecasting, variance analysis, generating commentaries, reports, dashboards. All of these can be automated through AI in FP&A. Accounting and financial close, your reconciliations, your closing journal entries, your monthly reporting deck, or your closing reporting pack, all of those things can be automated as well. Treasury and cash management, which is your FX hedging, working capital analysis, follow-ups, banking relationships, all of these things come under the treasury and cash management. Financial reporting, which is basically your management commentary, board deck generation. It could also mean generating the financial reports and notes to accounts, which are auditable or which will then be autonomously sent to the auditors as well as and when the change happens. Right. Risk and compliance, understanding the different levels of risk involved, anomaly detection, or coming up with a risk score assessment, trying to identify both different kinds of risk, right? It could be a business risk, operations risk, a financial risk in the system, right? All of that is risk and compliance. And then finally, you have the accounts payable or receivable. This is the basic thing where automated invoice processing, customer follow-ups, reminders, collections, all of these can be automated as well. Again, there could be multiple tools available for this. Some could be customized tools. Some could be a capability that your own ERP or EPM will also start giving you that as well. Okay. So that is one of the capabilities. Again, these are some of the AI for finance use cases that are available out there. Okay. Again, we won't be able to cover all of them. Probably there are hundreds of different kind of use cases. I'll give you one interesting example. So recently I was talking to one of the Tata Group company CFOs in India, and they have done a very interesting experiment. So there was a small tech company that pitched them a procurement AI agent solution. And the CFO decided to take a bet on it. He said, okay, I'll give you $50,000. We will try and automate the procurement process to some extent. So they started with small ticket and straightforward purchases. So where they are now issuing the tender or the e-tender online, okay, and the vendors, the empaneled vendors, will place a bid for that particular tender as well. Like for example, let's say if I want to buy, I'm a Tata Group company and I want to buy 500 notepads in my company. Okay, so I would put a e-tender, okay, and then the empaneled vendors will bid for it. The agent and then get the best price for them. So they started with the small ticket purchases for amounts which are less than 5 lakh rupees. Now, 5 lakhs is in dollar terms, it would be probably about 5,000, yeah, about $5,000 for you, or about $5,500, right? So less than $5,000 purchases, they started implementing this, and they were able to see a jump from 6% procurement optimization to a 17% procurement optimization with the case studies that they have done. So now they are planning to extend the ticket size and say, okay, now we'll increase this from a $5,000 ticket size to a $10,000 ticket size and see how the negotiation happens. Now we'll do much more complex negotiations. Instead of just buying a straightforward scoped notepad, let's give a complex scenario or a complex tender out there and see how the vendors bid and how does this negotiate. So this way they have already implemented a procurement AI agent as well. So that's another interesting use case that I could recollect when it comes to use cases. All right. So enough of setting the context and looking at certain AI use cases, but let's put some tools to action. Let's put some tools to test and see what we have been doing with tools as well. So before that, let me just quickly give you a quick landscape of where we are in terms of AI tools. The most common question that I get every day is, Dhawal, which AI tool should I learn? And let me give you a very straightforward answer to that, and probably a little bit disappointing answer as well. There is no one single AI tool that you can focus on. AI is not a tool. There's no one magical tool that if you learn that tool, everything will be straightforward. Things will automatically happen. No, unfortunately, there is no tool like that. But where are we in terms of AI tools today? I want to give you a quick landscape of that before we dive into some use cases and examples. Is there a general purpose AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot? All of these are general purpose AI tools, which I'm pretty sure you've already started using them, incorporating in your workflow for generating emails, asking basic questions, even slightly doing some complex tasks as well, or automating some of the tasks that you used to manually do earlier. Then the next is embedded AI function. Now, this is extremely important here. Okay, if you ask me one thing where I bet on in terms of tools, that would be embedded AI tools. Now, what is embedded AI tool? Now, imagine that you are using SAP in your company. Now, today, for doing a comparison in SAP, you may have to go to one account, select, give some categorization, and then generate, and then the SAP will generate a dump. Then you go to some other account, select the criteria, generate the dump, and then compare these two accounts or do a reconciliation or whatever you want to do. Soon, very soon, probably 6 to 12 months from now, within SAP itself, there will be a ChatGPT style window where in natural language, you will ask a question that, hey, can you do a comparison between Q1 and Q2 travel expenses and give me a waterfall chart and tell me what are the top 5 variances. The tool itself will take the dump, analyze it, give you the waterfall chart and give you the commentary. So it will probably do 80% of your task. You may have to invest 20% of your time to double check it, verify it, make sure that those insights are correct, and then you push it forward to your senior management, right? That's embedded AI. So every tool that you are using today, whether it is an ERP or a treasury tool or an FP&A tool, right? Any tool that you're using today will come up with an embedded AI capability very soon, probably 6 to 12 months from now. Okay, some of them have already started incorporating that. And then the third thing is specialized AI tools. People will always find specialized AI tools, like for example, the claims processing case that I mentioned to you, right? There could be a number of specialized AI cases. For example, AI tool for FP&A in hospitality sector. Yeah, that's such a specialized sector, such a specialized tool, right? There'll be specialized AI tools which you can leverage, okay, and then significantly improve your operations as well. Right now, you can find specialized AI tools in the basic transactional stuff like AP, AR, treasury automation. You have already started seeing some specialized AI tools there as well. And then there are, of course, emerging solutions where you're looking at an end-to-end transformation of an FP&A function or an end-to-end transformation of a finance function, or implementing agents, or implementing your custom language models within the data set of your company. So all of that is your emerging solution, which you can, which are enterprise scale and which many companies will start investing. So this is where we are in terms of tools. So if you have to focus on one or two things, I would first say that try and figure out what are the kind of embedded AI developments that your own tool is doing. Like if you are in your company, if you're using SAP, what is SAP doing about AI? If you're using Oracle, what is Oracle doing about AI? That's one. Second thing is, with the general purpose tools, I would recommend you to start interacting with these tools. Right now, don't worry about which tool you're using. Today, there is ChatGPT. Maybe 2 years down the line, there'll be some other tool. ChatGPT will become obsolete. So what you should be worried about is how do I now start interacting with this tool and get things done? So learn that skill set of talking to a tool and get things done, prompting the right way, right? You will make some mistakes. Think of it like training your intern, right? When the very first time you train your intern to do some working, it will make some mistakes, then it will refine. And probably from month number 2 onwards, the intern will be up and running for certain tasks and it will unlock completely your time or your bandwidth, right? That's how you should be interacting with these general purpose AI tools like a ChatGPT or Claude or any of these tools at this point in time. Because very soon you will get enterprise level AI tools within your company. Your company will provide you a ChatGPT style tool, enterprise level, and say now you should start using ChatGPT in your company. At that point in time, if you don't know how to interact with these tools, at that point in time, you will start. So be a step ahead, start learning or acquiring that skill set to get things done from these tools while they are still, I would say, maturing. Yeah. So that would be my advice in terms of tools. So don't worry about one specific tool, right? Focus about the skill set of talking to these tools. Now let's look at some use cases. Again, in the constraint, the limited time that we have, I'll try and show you a couple of different kind of examples of how we have been incorporating AI in our workflow. Okay, again, I'm going to give you demonstration with the general purpose tools. Okay, so that you can use it, you can try it out yourself whenever you get time. So let me stop sharing my screen and also start sharing the tool. Give me a second. I'm going to share with you a couple of cases on augmenting your own intelligence, right? And then I'm going to show you a couple of cases on automating as well. So let's start with augmenting. Let me first share. I'm going to use ChatGPT for this. Okay, I'm going to share a couple of use cases with ChatGPT, and then I'll show you some couple of more tools as well. Okay, like I said, I'm going to focus on general purpose tools for today. Yeah. So when it comes to augmenting your own intelligence, you can use it in multiple ways. I'm going to start with the very basic stuff and then slowly increase the complexity. Yeah. So very simple. I used it to help one of my students crack an interview with a fintech company. At the very first call, the recruitment consultant said there is an interview with a fintech company. Now we don't know which fintech company was it. So simply we uploaded the JD and then it started deconstructing what is the role, what is the position, what are the key responsibilities. It started giving things on its own, right? So this gave us some ideas as to what would be the possible questions. It gave me the likely technical questions, right? What would be the technical questions around KPIs, drivers like volume, average revenue per user, ARPU, customer lifetime value. All of these could be the possible technical questions that might be asked in the interview. And then what could be the possible behavioral and leadership questions? If it's a manager level position, then they may ask you certain behavioral questions as well. Like, for example, describe a situation where you had a conflict with finance and sales. How do you navigate this? Now, this is a situational question, right? And then started giving all these top key metrics as well, ARPU, uh, customer cost of acquisition, long-term customer, lifetime customer value. All of these are some of the metrics that would be relevant for the interview. Okay, so it started giving all these different data. And then the recruitment consultant revealed one more fact that this is actually a mobile app. This is a mobile money app. This is a mobile money app, which is one of the largest mobile money apps in Africa. So my student was from Africa. And then we said, how does a mobile money app make revenue? What could be the possible avenues? So we started understanding how would be the possible revenue forecast? What are the different levels with which a mobile money app makes money, right? So transaction fees, merchant payments, airtime, recharges, right? Lendings, micro lending. There could be a number of things that the fintech company or the mobile money app can do. And then what would be the typical revenue mix of a mature mobile money business, right? So all of these things, it started giving information, which imagine if AI was not there, we would have asked probably 10 different people. We may have found a contact in a mobile money app. We may not have found a contact in a mobile money app. But this is a few minutes job for you to prepare for an interview, any interview today, right? It is so easy for you to prepare for an interview today. And then I said, assuming lending services is prominent, how do we forecast as an FP&A professional, or how do we forecast revenue for this item, right? So assuming lending means micro loans, salary advances, buy now, pay later schemes, BNPL schemes are prominent for this company. So then it started explaining the lending model. What are the revenue drivers, active borrowers, average loan size, interest rate per month, loan frequency, all of these details are giving. So imagine the kind of understanding that we are able to gain in just a few minutes about an entire business, which otherwise pre-AI era, we would have just hunt for somebody on LinkedIn. If they're in a good mood, they'll tell us how this industry works. That too would take probably a couple of hours for them to explain this, right? So this is what augmenting your own intelligence is all about, right? So then it gave me some calculations. What are the different approaches to forecasting, right? So it gave me some examples as well. What are the key levers that I should track as an FP&A business partner? Portfolio growth, yield, credit quality, all of these are some of the things that came out of it. And then after the first round of interview, the recruitment consultant, then the interview progressed further. We came to know that it was MTN mobile money app based in Uganda, right? So we got to know the company name, we got to know the details of the company as well. And then we said, okay, now simulate the questions and answers. As a CFO of MTN mobile money app, right? Ask me the questions for this JD that I had shared. Okay. It started giving all the questions as well, the top 10 questions, in commercial business partnering, in FP&A forecasting, in governance and data systems, right? It started giving me all these questions as well. It gave me 15, 20 questions, what I need to prepare for. Now that it gave me questions, I started now give me answers as well. Who knows what the answers to these questions are, right? So they started giving us answers as well. How would I prepare for this answer? Of course, I would not copy paste this, but I would actually internalize an answer or correlate it with my story, my experience as well. So started giving us answers as well. So within about 20 to 25 minutes of brainstorming with my student, I was able to completely prepare him for a solid FP&A role in a fintech company in Africa, in fact, which he cracked and he was able to join that fintech company as well, right? So this is just one example where we were able to use it for interview preparation. So you can post any JD here, and then act as a CFO of this company or act as an FP&A lead of this company, right? Give it the character, and then it will start asking you, start interacting with you in the right way. So this was one of the simplest use cases of augmenting your intelligence. Let me slightly increase the complexity. One more example of augmenting your own intelligence is that I wanted to see really as to how would we try and utilize AI to come up with AI strategy itself for a certain company. So here is the prompt that I gave just to test it out. So I am a CFO. I'm a CFO of Marks and Spencers in the Middle East and report to the CEO and have a dotted line reporting to the global CFO. I have a meeting with the global board where I need to present how we are going to leverage AI in our business and what are some of the efficiencies and optimizations possible in our business. To be my AI strategist and help me to develop this presentation to the global board. So whenever you are prompting something to an AI tool, be it any tool for that matter, ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, or whatever, right? There are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. One is the context. What is the context? But here the context is to present a presentation to the global board. Okay. The second is the character. Okay. Character matters a lot. Do you want it to act it like a CFO? Do you want it to act like an AI strategist? Do you want it to act like a digital transformation expert? Do you want it to act like a CEO? Right? The response completely depends on what is the character, because everybody thinks differently about the same topic. So think about the character, think about the context, and then give it some information, and then it will be able to think and give you some outline as well. So it gave me a good preparation outline, that AI powered business transformation at Marks and Spencer's Middle East. It gave me what is the retail landscape today, what are some of the key use cases in Marks and Spencer's Middle East, how can I control the customer experience through AI, how can I optimize store operations through AI. It gave me started giving me multiple ideas, right? Within a few minutes, we were able to generate so many different ideas, right? So this is one of the things. And then, and then it asked me certain questions as well. Would you like a detailed board deck, or would you like some practical examples on global retailers? I said, okay, give me those details as well. And started giving me some examples as well. Case studies from global retailers, what Walmart has done, what Nike has done, what Amazon has done, what Zara has done for a fashion trend prediction. So it started giving me all of these examples as well. Now I said, okay, give me the slides outline for about 6 to 7 slides. So start giving me the slide outline. What should I say in slide 1, slide 2, right? All of these, it gave me the good slide outline for 6 to 7 slides. Now, till outline, it is fine. So I was able to brainstorm a strategy with ChatGPT. I was able to come up with certain good pointers. Then I was able to come up with a slide outline. So now I need to convert it to a presentation. You have multiple tools to convert it into a presentation. What I did was I simply copied this response. Sorry, now let me just lower my hand. Yeah. I simply copied this response and went to Gamma. I went to Gamma and then created this. I just copy pasted this slide wise detail and then it started generating the presentation on its own. Imagine the amount of time that we are able to save with all of this. Imagine the amount of uh, breadth in our own thinking that we are able to bring to the table with the use of AI, right? We can completely amplify our own approach, completely amplify our own strengths, right? So it gave a nice slide. I asked the slide to be minimalistic, right? Asked the slide to be like to the point, right? So that's why you will see a cover slide that there are six pointers in the agenda, and then why AI, what the global retail is doing, right? What are the rising consumer expectations? How can we use it as a decision intelligence tool in the retail sector, right? Enhance operational efficiency, inventory planning. What would be the priority use cases, right? We want to use it for supply chain optimization and demand forecasting, right? Customer personalization. So whatever was discussed in ChatGPT, now it is converted into a beautiful presentation. There are multiple templates. Again, this is just one of the templates that I had selected in Gamma. So I showed you some amplification or augmenting your own intelligence in ChatGPT. I showed you a quick presentation snapshot in Gamma as well. Now let's increase the complexity a little bit. These kind of chat type of conversations, I'm pretty sure many of you might have already done with ChatGPT, right? So how many of you have done these kind of conversations with ChatGPT? Type me in the chat box. Type me in the chat box. It could be a strategy conversation. It could be an interview conversation. It could be some basic Q&A with ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure you must have done. Type me in the chat box. Come on, come on. Now the complexity is increasing, the depth is increasing. So I want all of you to focus here. Fantastic. Frequently used. Me. So I've used for interview prep. I've used for CFO interview prep. Oh, fantastic. That's the perfect use of augmenting AI for your own, augmenting your own intelligence with AI. Awesome. So many of you must have used ChatGPT uh, a, for interacting with ChatGPT like a coach or a consultant or whatever, right? It's a Q&A style chat window many of you might have used. So let's increase the complexity. Yeah, Rohit says created own agents on ChatGPT. Fantastic. That's completely phenomenal. Then let's increase the complexity a little bit, and I'll show you some more examples. I thought, okay, let me put ChatGPT to test and say, can I create simple websites or simple tools or calculators with ChatGPT beyond, which goes beyond just chat box, which goes just beyond chat and simple solutions, right? So I thought, okay, let me just come up with let's see if it can come up with so again, I'm putting ChatGPT to test here with simple stuff. I'm pretty sure it is capable of doing more complicated stuff as well. So here I said, I wanted to check about uh, driver-based planning in a pizza store. In fact, I happened to meet a pizza store CFO or a pizza chain CFO, and that's how it triggered my point. Can we create some simple tool for this to see if at the store level something can be done? Can you give me 5 to 6 drivers that determine the revenue of a pizza store? I'm driver-based planning. That's what I'm focusing on in FP&A. I want a plug and play HTML dashboard. Okay, I don't want these conversations. I want an HTML dashboard for these drivers where we can plug and play the numbers and play around with different revenue and profit scenarios. This is just a simple prompt. I could have been more detailed in my prompt. I could have given the drivers. I would have specified the style. I would have specified the graph. I would have specified many more things as well. But I just wanted to put ChatGPT to test its capabilities to test. So it gave me an HTML dashboard. Again, all this is coding, which I have absolutely no clue what this coding is all about. Let me be very honest with you on that. So this is how the outcome came out. Here we have two different scenarios, scenario A, scenario B, and there are some drivers that I can plug in, and it will give me scenario-based revenue and profitability here. So this is like a tool, like a mini tool. Like I said, again, this is a smaller experiment, but if you sit more time, if you give it more detailed instructions, it can create much more complex tools as well for you. So let me create two scenarios quickly for you, right? So let me say 100 orders per day, 50 dirhams is the average transaction value. Let's say 28 days the store is working. Let's say the food cost or the variable cost is, let's say, 35% of sales. Yeah. Maybe the online versus the commission-based delivery is a mix of 40/20. Maybe there's a fixed cost of, I don't know, 15,000 dirhams per month as well. Yeah. Something like that. And then again, in scenario two, so let me just minimize this. Yeah. Again, scenario two, let's say I'm talking about 150 orders. Yeah, maybe 75 dirhams as an average order value. Maybe I'm open all 30 days. Maybe the variable cost is slightly higher. Maybe the delivery mix is, let's say, I don't know, 25 and I don't know, let's say 35. I'm just putting in some random number. And then the fixed cost is, let's say, 20,000. Now, what is the situation in this case, right? Here I have a 64,800 as operating profit. Break even is 19 orders a day. Yeah, my gross margin is 57%. Here I have a negative 27,000 dirhams. You know, although gross margin is 51.2, my net operating margin is minus 8%. So I can look at these individual line items as well, compare, do a scenario comparison as well. A very simple kind of a calculator where I'm changing the drivers to get some avenues as well. Okay, so this is a simple calculator that I can prepare. So let me just show you the quick prompt as well, what I had given. Simply I said, can you give me 5 to 6 drivers that determine the revenue of a pizza store? I want a plug and play HTML dashboard for these drivers where I can plug and play with some numbers, play around with different revenue and profit scenarios. Okay, and give me this simple calculator as well. Yeah. So this was one where we're now going beyond basic chats to come up with some tools as well. Okay. So let me show you one more tool use case. Let me pick rent versus buy analysis. Yeah. So this is again an interesting one. So when you are in Dubai, to buy or not to buy a property is always a question that you are always, many people will tell you buy, many people will tell you rent, whatever it is. So I thought, okay, let me do some sample calculations here and do a buy versus rent calculation for this particular property. So I gave it some numbers as well. Yeah. And then I started asking, assuming you're staying for minimum 10 years in this particular apartment, then what happens, right? So then I thought, okay, every time I'm asking the same question to ChatGPT, why not convert it into a rent versus buy calculator and end this question once and for all? Right? In fact, I had shared this rent calculator on LinkedIn as well. So can you give me an HTML calculator where I can plug and play the numbers and play around with different scenarios? Simple. ChatGPT did a great job in giving me a beautiful rent calculator, rent versus buy calculator, where I can plug in the numbers, the home price, the rent, the property appreciation value, the rental growth, the down payment, the loan tenure, everything. In fact, I can also do alternative return on down payment. For example, if I'm giving 200,000 dirhams of down payment, if I had not given the down payment, I would have invested it somewhere at a certain, I don't know, a fixed deposit or a 3% or a 4% or whatever. And so I did that as well. Holding period, what would be the average time that I would probably stay in this company, in this apartment, right? So, and then I just click on calculate. Yeah, I just click on calculate here and it is giving me the entire scenario, giving me what is better, renting is better or buying is better, right? So break even happens at 4 years. So for the first 4 years, renting is better. If you're staying beyond 4 years, then buying is better in this particular apartment. It also gives you detailed calculations here, which you can analyze. How in the first 3 years you will see that it is negative. Your net cash position is negative, which means renting is better. And then finally, you are making a positive decision. So after 4 years, it turns positive. In this case, you can again play around with different scenarios. Export the table to an Excel, whatever you want to do it with this. This is again a simple calculator that you can build. So again, here I just wanted to demonstrate that ChatGPT or any tool for that matter, right, has capabilities beyond just the conversation as well, conversational chat as well, right? Just to test it out, I built these small two calculators as well. Okay. Now let's do one thing as a final use case demonstration today. I'm going to use it for a hardcore FP&A case, although very simple, but I'm going to use it for an FP&A case and show you how how you can imagine an FP&A situation in the AI era or in the AI world as well. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen on that. Okay, so let me first share with you the Excel sheet. Maybe I can also share this Excel sheet with you in the chat box. If you want, you guys can download it as well. Do that experiment later. So download the Excel sheet as well. Maybe let me wait for 30 seconds. If you want to just download this Excel sheet, just download it and just sit down in the chat box once you download it. Till that time, let me open the Excel sheet for you. Yeah, I see some done now. Okay, come back on the screen. Here are some, this is a very simple FP&A data, right? One store, 1 month, one variance number, just to show you that experiment. So here is the June month actual sales, forecast sales versus actual revenue, forecasted revenue versus actual revenue, right? And here you have the volume price drivers. What is the volume in store sales and online sales? So what we are talking about is a sales channel. So you are selling it online also, you are selling it on the store as well. Let's say there's one product only. Right? So what is the units, forecasted units versus actual units, forecasted average sales price versus actual average sales price, Then you have some promotional returns. What is the actual returns percentage versus forecasted return percentage? And you have all of this information here in this Excel sheet. Now, if I have to ask you for this very simple data, your CFO is asking what is the reason for the revenue variance for this, right? So your forecasted revenue was 15.2 million. Everybody pay attention here. So your forecasted revenue was 15.2 million. Your actual revenue is 13.6 million. So you missed your revenue target by 1.6 million. So let me just quickly just take it as a calculation. So you're down with your revenue by 1.6 million. Now, obviously your CFO or your business head or whoever would ask you, why are we down? What could be the possible reasons? And typically, as we know, and if some of you come from an FP&A background, there are three possible reasons for these variances. Okay, what are those reasons? Price variance. There is a what our forecasted price was and what our actual price was. There is a difference. Then there's volume variance. Whatever volume we thought we would sell versus what we actually sold. And then there is a mix variance as well. So here what we are doing is we are using different channels to sell the same product, stores and online. If the mix changes, then also there will be a variance as well. So three variances: price variance, volume variance, mix variance. Now, if I have to compute it manually, first I have to go to the Excel sheet. Okay, here I will try and compute the price variance and then the volume variance. I'm not going to do that. Then again, for returns, I will check the returns as well. I'll do these individual variances, then collate them in one sheet and then put a waterfall chart. Waterfall chart to show you the variances between two things, correct? For a simple data like this, probably it will take you good 15 to 20 minutes. Even to do these basic calculations, probably it will take you 15 minutes. So what can be done? Simple. We'll go and use ChatGPT. Okay, we will use three tools for the same exercise. Pay attention here. We'll use three tools for the same exercise. Now, I tested with this example, all the three tools. Let's see whose outcome comes out better. So I gave it to ChatGPT. I said, act as a senior FP&A advisor, study this data, give me the variances, give me the cause and effect, not the symptoms, right? So it started giving me a lot of generic advice or generic information that unit volumes are lower in this, or the price is exceeding or lower in this. Right? It did not quantify the outcomes in the way that I wanted, right? So of course, I can ask for it, but it started giving me some generic information. Then I said, from the Excel sheet, can you build a waterfall chart to explain the revenue variance? And then I became a slightly specific and said, use price, volume, and channel mix for your analysis. Also give me a 3 to 4 bullet pointer sharp executive summary alongside the waterfall chart. Now it built the waterfall chart. Also in the waterfall chart, it did not specify the amounts. Now with this scale, I have to now guess the amount, so it's a little bit complicated here. Again, the bridge logic, price impact, volume impact, channel mix impact, it gave me all of this information. Again, still did not give me numbers. I expected some numbers from China. And then I said, convert this to a one slide CFO deck. Okay, convert this to a one slide CFO deck. Again, it gave me the information that needs to be included on the deck. It still did not give me the deck or the slide on its own. Then I said, a quantified analysis is missing in your commentary. Okay, quantified analysis is missing in the commentary. Then it started including the quantified analysis. $1.6 million revenue miss. We saw on the Excel sheet, $1.6 million revenue miss, which is 10.5%. 50% by price dilution, 30% by volume shortfall, 20% by adverse channel mix or the change in channel mix. So this is what then it started giving me the numbers. The price impact is 0.8 million, volume impact is 0.5 million, channel mix is 0.3 million. So that sums up to the $1.6 million revenue. It started giving me the numbers. And then we can, of course, include these, prepare a slide on our own or put a waterfall chart our own or whatever. Even we can copy the waterfall chart as well. So that is one way to do this. Okay, this was with ChatGPT. Probably it took me a good 5-7 minutes to kind of do this back and forth. Then the second tool, as many of you might know, probably is Claude. Yeah, some of you might have used Claude. I said same thing, study the Excel sheet, give me a waterfall chart, use price, volume, and channel mix for your analysis. Also give me a 3 to 4 bullet pointer sharp executive summary for the waterfall chart. Everybody paying attention here? We are using now Claude. So in Claude, again, it analyzed the $1.6 million. The best part that I loved about Claude was that it started with the quantification discussion. It said 1.6 million is the revenue shortfall. It didn't give me general knowledge about what the variance was, like how ChatGPT gave me. Yeah. Again, probably we could have been a little bit specific with the prompt as well with ChatGPT. So revenue is missed by 1.6 million, volume underperformance, price realization gap, channel mix. Okay, the three things that I was expecting, it gave me these three things. It also gave me the average difference as well. Yeah. And then it gave me the revenue waterfall chart separately. This is how it looked like. Everybody on the screen. This is how the revenue waterfall chart looked like. The best part was at least it is quantifying the number that it was a 0.9 million drop, 0.6 million drop. Right? So it gave me the good waterfall chart. It also gave me the executive summary. But here is the executive summary. Price realization, this is the reconciliation, volume variance, this is the volume variance, this is the price variance. It gave me all of this information as well. Now then I said, let me go a step ahead and said, can you prepare a one-pager CFO slide presentation? One-pager executive slide for the CFO. And then it went ahead, it collated all the information and it gave me a one-pager slide. Okay, give me a one-pager slide. It's taking some time to load. So this is how the slide looks like. On the left, you see a executive summary, which basically covers the three variances that we discussed about. And then it's giving me a waterfall chart. Again, you might see that this is not very well formatted, but think about it this way, that it has done 80% of your task. It has done 80% of your job. So probably you will fine tune this chart now. Probably 6 months down the line, if you ask the same question to Claude, it'll give you probably a far more beautifully analyzed and captured PPT as well. So capabilities are improving. Probably a year ago when I tried things with ChatGPT and Claude, this was even not, we were very far from this outcome. Right? So we have come a long way in the last 1 year. So this was a simple, this is what Claude did. Yeah. And then there is a agentic, near agentic AI tool. I wouldn't say an agentic AI tool, but a near agentic AI tool called Manus. So Manus originally is a Chinese tool. Okay, but now it is acquired by Facebook and Meta. So it is kind of Chinese American now. So here is the same file. I pasted it. I said, study the Excel sheet. And from the Excel sheet, can you build a waterfall chart to explain the revenue variance, use price volume, channel mix for your analysis? Same prompt, exactly same prompt. Give me a 3 to 4 sharp bullet point executive summary along with the waterfall chart. Right? So it gave me the summary. These are the bullet points. This gave me the table as well. It gave me some charts as well. Convert this into a one slide executive presentation. Simple. So it converted it into the executive presentation. Let me just show you how this result looks like. Beautiful. The Manus was far better. Manus uses Claude and a tool called Gwen in the backend. So simple prompting. The window is very similar to chat. It's nicely captured the slide. The slide quality comes out far better. Here it gave me the volume effect, quantified as well, 11.5% volume drop, price effect, mix effect, along with the waterfall chart, along with the table, along with some red light as well, saying that okay, critical insight, omni-channel account for 81% of total revenue, shortfall from 1.6. He's trying to give me some insight as well, or a recommendation as well. Now see, this is just with some basic prompting. Now, if your prompting is far more detailed, if your prompting is accurate, if your prompting is advanced as well, probably the outcome would have been far more better. But this is what the tools are now today capable of. Now, right now, your question would be, can I use this in my workflow? Can I use this in my job? The answer is no. Why? Because these are public tools, so you cannot use your company data because of confidentiality reasons. So be very careful when you are giving your company data to any of these tools for that matter. How you can use it to some extent is use dummy data to get the templates and the slide deck done. And then you can update it with your company data. That could be one avenue to do it, but still it doesn't serve the purpose of doing the analysis. But I'm pretty sure that within 6 to 12 months from now, your company will give you enterprise license for a tool like this. And at that point in time, you will be able to use it for your company data only. And then you can still come up with these kind of analysis. That's why I told you at the very beginning, don't worry too much about the tool. Learn the skill set to get work done from these tools. That's all you need to know at this point in time. So we used ChatGPT. So we used Claude. We used Gamma to see the presentation. And we used also Manus. So I hope this gives you some idea of what's happening there, what's happening out there in the world. Yeah. So let me come back to my slides. Give me a second. So we saw some use cases. Again, there are plenty of use cases. In the interest of time, I've only covered some of them, right? So financial report analysis, analyzing annual reports. There are so many different kind of use cases that you can refer to. These are only some of the use cases that I have covered. So now let's look at where are we heading specifically in FP&A when it comes to AI. So this is how your FP&A looks like today, right? You will have multiple sources of data, your ERP, your CRM system, your HRMS tool. There could be separate tools for supply chain, AR, AP data, general ledger, whatever. or these could be separate modules, or these could be separate tools. You will most likely do a manual extraction of data and get into that loop of multiple VLOOKUPs and pivot tables and whatnot, right? To get to a meaningful information today, or a report or a deck or something like that. Yeah, probably Excel models and static reports, which means if something small changes, you do the entire cycle again and then come up with a new report. So it's taking a lot of time. But this is how the AI-enabled FP&A will look like. From all your data sources, things will first go into a unified data lake or a data warehouse, whatever you call it. Some of the technical guys in the webinar will understand what a data lake or a data warehouse is. The quality of your AI output depends on only one thing, the quality of your data, which means most of the companies today are first trying to fix their data, whether it is customer master or whether it is putting all the multiple sources of data into a data warehouse or getting a centralized unified data lake. That is where the companies are focusing much of their energy right now. And then once your data lake is ready, then you can put an AI model or a customized LLM model or customized tools on that. And then that will speed up your process. It will do all your extract, transform, load. You don't need to do VLOOKUPs. You don't need to do any other things. It'll do the validation. It will do some processing as well, right? It can give you some predictive analysis. It can do the analysis. It can give you variance commentaries, whatever. It can give you real-time dashboards as well. Probably 15-20% of your time will only go into refining these, double checking these. Yeah, this is how a AI-enabled FP&A looks like, where we are focusing and moving towards unified intelligence, unified or a real-time dashboard or a unified data lake and integration. Yeah, that's where we are moving in terms of AI for FP&A. So now that you have some understanding of where we are heading in AI for finance, we have already started seeing job descriptions where they're asking for AI skill sets, where they're asking for ML skill sets, right? So knowing AI as a skill set or how to talk to these tools is become extremely critical today. Maybe 6 months, 6 to 12 months from now, it will become mainstream. Yeah. How probably a couple of decades ago, people used to ask you, do you know Excel? They'll ask you, do you know how to talk to these AI tools? It's going to be that common in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, what can be done? What we have done is, in the interest of time, I was only able to show you a few things, right? We have done a detailed course. We have come with a 4 weeks program, which is live online program. It's called AI for Finance and FP&A, where we are covering the basics of AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, multiple tools like Copilot, Claude, Manus. We're also covering some custom GPTs, custom tools as well, custom AI tools and applications as well. So it's a 4 weeks training program where we meet every Saturday for 2 hours live, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST, 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST. Okay, for those on the US Canada side, it will be probably Friday evening for you. For us here on the India Middle East side, it will be morning, right? 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST. And this will be a 4 weeks program where we'll cover all of these things with multiple use cases specifically related to FP&A. Right? We cover as many use cases as possible related to FP&A. This program, again, the advantages are many. It gives you live lessons where you'll be guided instructions. You can try along some projects with us, right? All you need to do is take out 2 hours of your time on a Saturday. That's all we ask. This is designed for busy executives, right? 100% practical case studies. Basically, if I am teaching a budget in my FP&A program, I'm trying to do that budget using AI now. Right? If I'm teaching you preparing a management commentary in my FP&A program, I'm now teaching you how to use AI to come up with that management commentary. So again, 100% practical use cases. Can you get certification from FP&A Professionals Institute? We'll also have monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask any doubts directly with us. You'll also get access to global FPI community. FPI communities spread across more than 60, 70 different countries right now. We've trained more than 12,000 students on various topics so far. It's an extremely vibrant community, so you get to be part of that community as well. When are we doing it? The sessions are starting from this coming Saturday, 7th of February. Every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST. 10 a.m. to 12 noon IST. In case if you miss a live session, the recording will be provided to you. It will be uploaded on our LMS portal. All the resources, the notes, the Excel examples, the examples that we use, everything will be uploaded on the LMS platform. Okay, so you can easily access it. Yeah. The program investment fee is $247. But for those of you who are on the webinar today, for the first 10 participants, it will be $197. What you will be doing is you will be using the code AI50 to enroll. Let me just quickly share with you the link as well. So let me just quickly share with you the link in the chat box, and the code is AI50. again, for the first 10 participants. So make sure that you enroll into the course and we are able to start live. We'll do more examples like this. We'll experiment a lot. There are a lot of use cases to be shared. We also bring in a couple of guest speakers who have actually implemented AI in their workflow, right? So it'll be an interesting uh, course for you, definitely, right? So you can get multiple benefits out of it. Yes, I've shared the link and the code in the chat box. It's not AI 150, it's AI 50. Yeah, so that's a $50 discount. Like you, I'll have to Google it. So give me a second. 10 a.m. IST to PST. It will be 9:30 p.m. PST. 9:30 p.m. for you. It will be Friday night for you. For us, it will be Saturday morning. All right. So happy to take any questions. So let me also just change the setting where you can now unmute yourselves as well. So just give me a second. Now I've changed the setting. If you have any questions, you can either raise your hand or unmute yourselves and ask any questions about what we covered today, about AI in general, about the program, about what we do. So happy to answer any questions that you have. In the meantime, also let me check if there are some questions in the chat box. How do you use AI to proactively determine problems a company is trying to solve? You don't know how much, if you don't know much about the company or it's a new startup. Again, see, there's a very interesting saying. It says, if AI is the answer, what is the question? Right? So AI can be used for many things, right? But again, it depends on what you want to use it for. Let's say if you're a startup, then you would be probably GTM, marketing, acquiring more customers, high customer acquisition cost, or optimizing your marketing spend. So those could be probably your biggest challenges if you're a startup versus an established company. There could be productivity issues that you need to fix. There could be efficiency issues. That would be the problem for a larger company. Again, depending on the sector, you can just use AI as your strategist. Any model for that matter. It could be ChatGPT, Manus, Claude, or anything for that matter. You can use it as your strategist. And once you start training the model with a certain set of questions, it picks up the context better. It picks up the context, it picks up the industry, and it will start giving you the results get far more sharper, right? So today, when I'm asking a question to ChatGPT, right, because I'm an FP&A trainer and a finance career coach, the natural answer that ChatGPT gives me is like a finance career coach. Sometimes I'll have to tell it that no, don't think like a finance career coach, but think like a CFO and give me an answer, something like that. Yes, I think we have some alumni here as well. Yusuf has been our alumni for the CGFPA 2 batch. Currently, we are running CGFPA 7. So CGFPA 8 is going to start in April. Yeah, so it has been great in terms of learning. Thank you, Yusuf, for that. All right, everyone. So if you want to speak to me, I'm always available on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me a connection request. I can also quickly share with you my TopMate link, where you can book a 20-minute call with me as well. If you want any specific guidance on your career, we can do that. I'm going to share my TopMate link as well. Feel free to book a 20-minute call with me if you want to discuss anything specific to your career, and all the very best for your careers. And hopefully we'll see you in one of our programs. Good night, everyone. Bye.